Chapter 21-21, Benjamin Morgan. They just wanted to see how powerful Zhang Yi would be after obtaining Ling's human body. Columbia. In Professor Da Vinci's laboratory, he was rummaging through boxes and sorting his scientific instruments. Behind him was a large backpack stuffed with things. I haven't been abroad in a long time. This trip to the underworld to meet an ancient civilization might be of great help to my research. He knelt on the ground and dug out a blue toy gun from the trash heap, his eyes lighting up. Found it. I'll keep this for self-defense. Saying that, he stuffed the toy gun into his pants pocket. Brian looked at him speechlessly from behind. We're not sure what Chaos is up to. What if, just in case, he decides to hold back? Then we might not even get to fight. Brian hated fighting. He was just a dog. He had everything he needed, food and water, and he was always by his master's side. Why would he want to fight and kill? Professor Da Vinci glared at him. Damn it, Brian, I should have put more effort into increasing your IQ when I first activated it. If all else fails, I can get you a new brain. You really are. Hiccup, so stupid. You disappoint me. Brian looked at him speechlessly. Professor Da Vinci chattered on. I've studied that guy named Zhang Yi, and his personality is such that he's not the type to keep quiet and put up with things. The only reason he hasn't made a move is because he's been holding back something big. When he has the ability to fight back, he will definitely kill his opponents in one fell swoop. Moreover, after Pluto returned, I received news that he performed terrifyingly well in the Demon's Eye and obtained a powerful new toy. So this battle is going to happen. Professor Da Vinci packed a military backpack so full that it was almost as tall as he was. He pulled the backpack tight and said to Brian, Brian, keep an eye on our things. We're about to head to the mysterious underground world. His face was filled with anticipation. Who knew that spending every day in the laboratory doing experiments was driving him crazy? After saying that, he walked straight out the door. Professor, where are you going? To find Morgan. I'm going to take a long vacation and use up all my annual leave. Oh, damn it, who knows how long it's been since I've been on vacation. But with all this ice and snow, I can't even go to the beach to sunbathe. Professor Da Vinci left his laboratory and came outside to a long corridor. He was now in the Vale district of Franklin, the capital of Columbia, in a huge underground base. This was the headquarters of the Natural Science Association. Nowadays, more than half of the powerful mutants in Columbia belonged to this organization. They had close ties with the upper echelons of Columbia, and many of their members also worked in the military. For example, Cardillus and Canello had both undergone experimental modifications by the Natural Science Association. Professor Da Vinci arrived at the elevator and went down. Before long, he arrived at the office of the president of the Natural Science Association. He said to the secretary sitting outside the door, Jessica. Please tell Morgan that I need to see him. Jessica picked up the phone and said, Okay, please wait a moment. As she picked up the phone, Professor Da Vinci walked straight to the door and pushed it open. Hey, Professor Da Vinci, you. Well, he's always like this. Miss Jessica looked helpless. Professor Da Vinci was a strange character at the base, and no one wanted to deal with him. However, the development of the organization was inseparable from this scientific genius. Da Vinci walked into the president's office, where a tall figure sat behind a desk with his back to him. Hey, Morgan. I need to take some time off. I've used up all my annual leave and sick leave for this year, plus. Well, I need to rest for a long time. The swivel chair behind the desk turned around, and a flash of golden light made Da Vinci subconsciously cover his eyes. It was because the man's body seemed to be lit by a 100-watt bulb, shining brightly. He was a very tall man with neatly combed hair, around 40 years old. A thick gold chain hung around his neck, and his fingers were adorned with dozens of gold and gemstone rings. Even his belt buckle was made of pure gold. Professor Da Vinci looked at the man in front of him, his face speechless. The president of the Natural Science Association, Benjamin Morgan, code name Adam. However, this was not the first man in mythology, Adam, but the famous economist Adam Smith. Morgan single-handedly established the Natural Science Association, and before the end of the world, he was one of the richest men in the world. With his rich management skills, vast wealth, and connections in all walks of life, he was able to control such a powerful and mysterious organization as the Natural Science Association. Until now, the Natural Science Association had been a semi-independent organization. Da Vinci, for example, only had a cooperative relationship with the Columbia government. Even this time, he wanted to join forces with Zhang Yi to fight against the Wuluan Empire for his own personal reasons. Morgan looked at Da Vinci, who had come to ask for leave, and raised his eyebrows. "Professor Da Vinci, you rarely ask for leave. I thought you considered the association your home. Even if it's your home, you'll get tired of it after staying there for a long time. Anyway, I just came to let you know that I won't be at the association for a while. If you need anything, please leave a message." After saying that, Da Vinci wanted to leave. "Hey, how long are you planning to be gone?" "Who knows? I'll be back when it's time." "Professor." Morgan suddenly raised his voice, and Professor Da Vinci stopped in his tracks and turned to look at him. "What is it? Is there something else?" Morgan raised an eyebrow and stared at Da Vinci's dead fish eyes for a moment, then suddenly laughed. "Nothing, just be careful out there. Don't worry, I'll take Brian with me." After saying that, Da Vinci walked away. Morgan stroked his square chin with his hand covered in expensive rings and muttered to himself, "Whatever made this guy leave the lab must be very interesting. Could it be related to the chaos of the Huashu Kingdom? In that case, let him go and take a look. Maybe there will be a surprise." He had already received information from Pluto about everything that had happened under the demon's eye. Chapter 21-22, An Eye for an Eye, a Tooth for a Tooth. In the time that followed, Blizzard City was in turmoil, with Zhang Yi occupying a large area in the southeast of the city. This area was off-limits to outsiders, and even the Yin Yunwei of Blizzard City was not allowed to approach. This was because Liu Karen was leading a group of mechanical life forms to repair the Zanyuan tribe's super warship, which had not seen battle for many years. Zhang Yi also shut himself in his home. To be precise, he spent most of his time in his back garden or his room. The absorption and conversion of spirit essence was a long process. The speed depended on a person's talent, and not everyone who obtained spirit essence could quickly convert it into their own power. This was because this power came from other life forms. If one's talent was limited, not only would they be unable to absorb this energy, but they would feel bloated, like someone who had eaten too much. After being baptized by the Sea of Spirit, Zhang Yi's talent had reached a terrifying level. Otherwise, it would have been impossible to climb from a supernatural ability index of 32,000 to 38,000 in less than 2 months. Without a mind, there is no great use. Without a mind, there is no great achievement. Haste makes waste, and excessive desire will actually affect the efficiency of absorbing spiritual energy. This was what Zhang Yi had learned from the Heart Sutra. He had to do everything possible to improve his strength before the great battle. But just at this moment, Deng Shintong suddenly sent him a message. "Old Zhang, something has happened on the coast again." Zhang Yi snapped out of his meditation and frowned slightly when he heard the news. "Again?" He walked out of Tianhai Fortress and came to the outside world, only to see the clouds in the sky rapidly drifting towards the northwest. There was also a faint whistling sound in his ears, as if coming from afar. The scale of this tsunami was even greater than the previous one. Zhang Yi had expected this result, but instead of feeling anxious, he smiled. "This is all you're capable of. You don't dare to set foot on this land." In the East Sea region, the news was quickly shared among the high-level chat groups. Zhang Yi saw a 3D map, which showed that the tsunami was still heading towards the southeast, with the Jiangnan region and the East Sea region being the most severely affected. The tsunami washed over the coast, accompanied by a huge typhoon, affecting nearly half of the entire Jiangnan region. Fortunately, Blizzard City was only affected by the storm and did not suffer much damage, with only a few houses destroyed at most. Li Guangxiao's tone was very grim. The East Sea region is completely finished this time. The tsunami's impact is even greater this time. With these two disasters, at least tens of thousands of people have died in the sea, and millions have been affected. The population of the East Sea region was mainly concentrated near East Sea City, as it was safer to be around the main city. But it was precisely because of this that a large number of people died in the disaster. Chaos, when can we launch a counterattack? We can't continue to put up with this. Otherwise, the East Sea region will be completely finished. Li Guangxiao's face was filled with worry. Their losses were too great. Only through a major battle and plundering the resources of the Wulwan Empire could they make up for the losses they had suffered during this period of time. Meng Yuanjun said, "It's not just you, the coastal areas of the Xinjiang region have also been severely affected. However, everything depends on chaos preparations. We must not act rashly." The other regions did not express any opinions because they had not suffered any direct losses, so they had to wait and see Zhang Yi's attitude. Zhang Yi bit his fingernail and suddenly laughed. "That's right, it's time to act." Everyone looked at Zhang Yi. Shang Daowen hurriedly asked, "Are you ready? Didn't you say that there were still many things that needed to be done slowly? For example, the joint combat training between the mutants hasn't even started yet." Zhang Yi waved his hand. "You misunderstood me. I said we had to be patient. We have to let the other side think that we are afraid of them and don't dare to start an all-out war. But don't you think that if we are too patient, it will only arouse the other side's suspicion? After all, during the previous battle in Tianhai City, we gathered our forces and put up a fierce resistance." Shang Daowen frowned in confusion. "So you mean we'll give them a taste of their own medicine? But we have to let them think that we're close to the limit of our patience and that their plan has succeeded?" Zhang Yi said with a smile. He happened to have something good prepared for the Wulwan Empire, but he hadn't used it yet. "Then how do you plan to do it?" Xiao Liu asked curiously. "Do you need us to send troops to help?" Zhang Yi shook his head. "No need. Just let them think that this is just me, a hothead, acting on impulse. You guys just sit back and watch the show." After ending the conference call, Zhang Yi immediately gathered the people around him. "Karen, you don't need to participate in this operation. You go ahead and continue with your work. Everyone else, follow me. It's time to teach those despicable lizard people a lesson." Zhang Yi brought his companions with him, just out of habit, so they could watch the show. At the same time, he shared his view with the senior officials of all the major regions. He had to give everyone a shot in the arm and let them know that what he said was true. All the senior officials of the 6 major regions watched Zhang Yi's first-person view with curiosity, wondering what kind of trouble this lawless guy was going to cause next. After confirming that his equipment was in order and his combat status was at its best, Zhang Yi left the door. He activated his space shuffle ability and headed southeast. As he swept across the sky, he saw the land ravaged by the storm and large areas that had been flooded by the tsunami and turned into a chaotic mess of mud. It was an unimaginable disaster, a man-made catastrophe unprecedented in human history. Zhang Yi did not have accurate information on how many people had died, but even Delta-level mutants would have found it difficult to survive such a disaster without flying devices or the ability to fly. According to the most conservative estimates of the 2 major regions, hundreds of thousands of people had died in the 2 tsunami attacks. Zhang Yi did not blame himself for the disaster, but seeing the beautiful mountains and rivers turn into such a mess with his own eyes, his heart was still burning with rage. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. All of you in the Wulwan Empire, remember what you have done to my Huashu kingdom today. One day, I will wipe out your entire clan, every last one of you." Zhang Yi traveled across the vast land and entered the realm of the sea. When he passed East Sea City, he heard the voices of Black Tortoise and the others. "Chaos, we're coming with you."